we're on, yeah? You come with the pen and pad.
I'm so sweaty. I hope I don't really look. It's so weird. I hope I don't look sweaty in the video. Okay, we should start.
Ready when you are, bro.
Hi everyone, it's Sam again. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with Wes. He's gonna introduce himself. So basically I'm in Montpellier at the moment, on placement from med school, and I met.
Already, guys.
And I met Wes in Montpellier. He's also from London like me, and he's been in Montpellier for almost a year.
Just over now.
Just over a year. And yeah, he's just been showing me around, and he's been really helpful. Showing me all the cool spots in Montpellier.
The few there are.
And yeah, so on speaking to him and like just going around different places, we've had the opportunity to like talk and just have really good discussions and really good conversations, and just really deep conversations. And one of them was about just masculinity and being a man. And so this video is like probably really different from like the medicine videos I upload or anything like that, but I just feel like it's something that that is close to my heart, and I want to just put out there and have a discussion about it with someone I think is quite knowledgeable, just from my experience of just speaking with him and things like that.
It's nice of you to say.
And I feel like he's quite knowledgeable. And obviously we were both Christians, so do not be surprised if you speak about Jesus. Do not be surprised if we speak about anything relating to God or anything Christian, basically, because that's where we come from.
That's where we're rooted.
Yeah, that's our root. Do you want to introduce yourself just quickly and you want to say anything else?
Do you know, the older I get, the harder I think that question is. Because the more you know, the more knowledge you get, the more you realise you don't, the more you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So coming to France has been a big transition from being a young man to an adult. So when you say introduce yourself, I'm still kind of working that out. You know, like it's an amazing adventure of just getting to know who the Lord has created me to be. And it's an adventure, you know, because when you're raised, especially in the Caribbean culture, so both my parents' parents were from Jamaica, and my mum's mum was from Bermondsey. And so we just got a mix of, I'm born and raised in London with a Caribbean kiss. So we've always had like your culture and your tradition has always had a heavy influence on who you are. And then when you grow up, you start recognizing a lot of this stuff isn't really you. It's just stuff that I've acquired from observing parents, friends, and circles that you're with. And then you get older and you start working out who I actually am. So I actually have an answer for that.
That was a really long way to say you don't have an answer.
No, I have to put people on, man, rather than going, I don't know. But yeah, it's been cool, adventure of working out the answer to that question. Okay,
cool. So we'll just jump right into it. So speaking about masculinity, I mean, what do you think the state of masculinity is at the moment?
It's an amazing question. The state of masculinity. I think the state of masculinity at the moment is in like a defense. Yeah, it's being attacked at the moment, I believe, from my observation of society, music, adverts, films, most of the media that it's just under attack, because I've grown up, I was born in the 80s, and so 90s to early 2000s were a time where you start recognizing things, and I started to recognize that for a long time women have been oppressed by man, because it's a cultural thing where, especially in England, where men has to be strong, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
They got to be macho, and they got to know what they're doing with their life, and they've got to have great plans, and everyone's got to respect you, and you've got to be on your job and emotionally sound, no crying, and man up business. And I think for a long time, a lot of men were blagging and trying to uphold this image, and in doing so, done a lot of damage. And women have had to suffer in silence. This is what I've seen. And now more than ever, I think the women have just had enough of that mess, and they're just starting to say we ain't having it anymore. Like I'm just gonna speak up because I'm not gonna be like my mum. I'm not gonna be like my nan.
Yeah.
And they're secretly whispering and having conversations like, I should da 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 da. Do you know what I mean? So now we have like this uprise of women power, and rightly so. I think it's good. I'm not gonna say I'm like a feminist fan, but I like how women are starting to embrace the equality and the, you know, they're on this planet in God's image too, man. So they have equal opportunity, equal rights and stuff. But now it's almost like there's been an oppression on man. And men don't know. A lot of men now are like, they don't know what's going on, so they're like, they just feel intimidated, I think. So masculinity is on the defense at the moment. And so that's what I believe the state of masculinity is, and to answer your question.
Yeah. And so do you have like any examples? So from your experience, do you have any examples of like this type of oppressed like masculinity state? If that's the word.
You just have to look at the TV. Turn on your TV and check out the adverts, and you'll just see man's always having to cower. He's the butt of the jokes in the family, or like there's connotation of him being stupid. Look at what he's done again. Yeah. And so the man's always kind of played out to be, I'm the joke. Do you know what I mean? That's just one of many. That's adverts. I don't have to explain it. You can turn on your TV right now after you see this clip, and you'll see how a man is portrayed. Just to see how he's portrayed in adverts, just that alone. And even I think just little things that we say, like daily. So there's this like thing that boys will be boys, men will be men. So it's like obviously it's said in loads of situations where men like I don't know, they cheat or they're like not connotations. Like so there's cliches.
Yeah, but in my head it's like it makes men feel like they're just wild animals that don't have any control over
just on instinct.
Do you know what I mean? Like boys with boys, it makes boys or men seem that they have no I don't know what the word is. Like it's just like they're just stupid. Like they can't help what they're doing. It's like, do you know what I mean? They're just dopey, just following or doing whatever.
Bull in the china shop.
Yeah. So and I think that mentality is not right, and is bringing a lot of men down. And a lot of men use it as an excuse to do stupidness. Don't get me wrong, a lot of men do stupidness,
that's a good point.
But a lot of men, it's like, but I'm a man, like this is what men do, like, and they just take it. That it doesn't allow for responsibility of their actions. You know what I mean?
It really boils down to you're saying what men think a man is. What's your bar? What are you judging off? And I think nowadays, unfortunately, this has been a common trend for a long time. Music, like my dad, for example, he didn't have a dad. So a lot of what he learnt was from films, from music, from some of the people that he saw out in the streets in his neighbourhood and stuff. So it depends on what they're looking at. And as I said, unfortunately, not a lot of them have good role models. So it's kind of inevitable, mate, to be honest with you. But we're learning from our mistakes. This video is like evidence that we're starting to have to address some things. So these are like the first steps of a beautiful time ahead, really, because we're being able to re-evaluate and create something new. Do you know what I mean? In having to have 50-50 equal, because first things first as well, like before we even go on, this is just two men talking from their own opinion, from their own experience. Like you can't ever like what I think's a man, what Sam thinks a man, and the vast majority of people that are going to be watching this clip, like we're all going to have different opinion on what a man actually is. But it all really depends on where you set the bar and what you're looking at. And for us, we've got an amazing bar who's going to help us measure up as well, you know. So that's the difference as well.
Okay, cool. I'm going to ask, what has been your, like growing up, what has been your example of masculinity?
Ooh. This is a big question, bro. Why ain't you give me no heads up, man?
It just came to me. It just came to me now.
That was inspired by the Most High. Okay, so mine is going to be a slightly different... I don't think many of people are going to be able to relate to the way I answer this question, which could be a good or bad thing. But my dad, as I said, never had a dad. And he was just with his mum and sister. So my dad is, he's gonna rip me. But yeah, my dad has always been in touch with his feminine side. Growing up, I don't think he enjoyed that much. But he is, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Growing up and watching a man cry, because there's many men that have grown up believing they can't cry or they shouldn't, and I think it's one of an amazing emotion to be able to share and display, because you know, you can sometimes you don't have to say anything when you cry and you weep. I think there's a difference as well. You can cry and weeping is not the same. Like one's a wail and one's just like you're upset about something. But so for me, I've seen the slightly more feminine approach. Even though, like, my dad is he's been a villain and hero of my life. So it's been cool having somebody that's, we've gone through so much, me and my dad. And so I've always thanked God for him being in my life. Warts and all, ups and downs, smiles and frowns. Like, he's a good bar, but there's others, you know, like you, there's other people that I look up to in life, and yeah, man, I think I've been blessed with being able to have good and bad.
Good and bad, okay. So your dad is like the main.
But he's going to be the main. I think everybody's father's going to be, that's what you do. When you grow up, you're looking at your parents and you've got nobody else to look at.
Yeah, I mean, but you'd be surprised that a lot of people don't, obviously a lot of people don't grow up with their parents, like single parent, their dad, for example.
Exactly.
Single father house, or single mother house. And so they would have to, they start looking at other things.
Yeah, naturally.
For that father, father figure. I think it's hard. I don't know. I've grown up with my parents. My parents are amazing.
We've had it cool like that, man. That's what I mean. So it's going to be difficult because we're trying to talk to people that we can't really relate to.
Yeah, I can't really relate to.
Do you know what I mean? And we keep it real with that. Yeah. I don't know what it's like to not have a dad. I've had as I said, the best and worst dad. So I've had really a good testimony of what it is to have a rounded experience of fatherhood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask that. Question. Okay. What does masculinity mean from your experience? Have we kind of talked about that already, or?
Not really. So I said that like my dad was raised by his mum and sister, so he's been more in touch with his feminine side, but that's what I've witnessed. What I see from my influences of music and films and stuff like that, it's been a mix of what I think masculinity is, because as I said, 80s, 90s, early 2000s portrays this strong, no-nonsense go-getter. That's what masculinity is to me. It's always been somebody that's just on point all the time, never slipping, which is dangerous because it's not reality. You know, it's like a made-up concept which has been just drilled and pumped into us from mad young. And then when you're older, you start thinking, I'm none of these things, or you're a few of them, do you know what I mean? And you want to boast about the ones that you're on and hide the rest. And it's like, wow, man. I think it's very personal. I think masculinity, as I said, exactly the same as what we said about man. It's just going to be different for different guys. What do you think?
What do I think about what masculinity means from my experience.
Because there's a lot of years between us as well, bro, you know, so like, it'd be good for them to hear what you think about it as well.
True. From my experience, it's kind of similar to what you're saying. Masculinity, a man, is that cool, calm, collected, has everything under control guy, and he just like doesn't show any emotion, but he can handle like whatever. Do you know what I mean? So anything that's thrown at him, he just like
adapts.
He just adapts, bounces off. And he's like some sort of like just like a cool guy, like a stereotypical cool guy. Everyone wants to be like him. Do you know what I mean?
Popularity as well.
Yeah, popularity. And I guess they're just not fazed by anything, but they just have this, I don't know.
Solid.
They're just solid, yeah.
You said something, you said the masculinity to be a man. And I think...
Is that different?
I think masculinity is a part of being a man. It's not a man, masculinity.
Yeah. Well,
but we can go somewhere else with that, bro. We should just keep it simple. But before we get too philosophical.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we equating masculinity or men?
Oh dear. But yeah, man, I thought that was an interesting point. Do you know what I mean? I think we've covered quite a lot of the aspects of what many men think that what's required of them as being a man. Just being solid and a provider and a protector and
a provider and protector.
Yeah, these are like cliche language.
You know what I mean? Like, the PP, the provider and the protector.
The PP. Yeah, it's true. I think, and even that is called into question now, which knocks everything out of sync because we don't live in a society where a lot of men can
provide and protect.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, and automatically there's like the boat's rocking, man, because the how do you call that? The common social order is these cliches. So nowadays you can't, unless the man's balling and he's got this amazing job, it's usually a woman helping or sometimes even doing more. Protecting, we're not really in war, and there's not tribal anymore.
There's no tigers in the road.
I think it's more like when a man's trying to move to your girl when you're at a restaurant or you're doing your thing. It's like protecting. What much protecting is there now? Do you know what I mean? As much as support mentally, emotionally, I suppose you can protect. Yeah. Because of nowadays social media and what people think about us, that's attack. So to be there to protect, I suppose in that way maybe.
Maybe, but not really.
But this is what I mean. We can redefine at the moment. We're in it's scary but terrifyingly beautiful stage where we can redefine what masculinity is. And I would really encourage as well, like young men, like to really go after. And when I speak, it's difficult because I'm speaking from a Christian standpoint. I'm a follower of Jesus. So for me, I'm gonna be like, when you're in Christ, you know that everything's happening for a reason and that you're made for a purpose, and you got somebody that is going to be able to reveal these things to you in your seeking him. So that would be my advice, like my advice is always going to be like, I've got no answers here, do you know what I mean? But we can discuss, as I said earlier, you can say what you like, but what we say, whether it's true or not, it's another story from somebody else's ears, perspective. That's why the world's chaos at the moment, because there's no truth. There's like what you think, what I think, and if you don't think what I think, it's like who wins? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
no one wins.
It's like a battle to win. It's like to be right.
Yeah, so it's whoever's shouting the loudest or whoever's agreed with more tends to win. And it's just rubbish because we're all different and we're all being made differently, and we're all here for different reasons. And so as long as you're going after the Most High, these things will be revealed to you, and in your practicing that, in your obedience, life is going to be good, man. It's not going to be easy. It's one thing I can say, that this life in Christ is not an easy one. Christ himself said that. This is not going to be an easy ride, but it's worth it when you know that what your purpose is, what your role is, or even in part. I think you'll have more of an understanding, more peace, and more harmony within yourself.
Imagine as a guy just watching these YouTube videos.
Same blood.
What would you want to advise, like in their search for what a man is, and in their search for, I guess, masculinity, or like you kind of talked about it already?
Yeah, I think what I just said, really, especially if you're a non-Christian, I'm gonna be trying to make you question what you're making up. That sounds cold, but for me, I know what it's like not to be saved, and I was living quite a successful life before, and I was empty and seeking. So there's a part of me that's all generalized and say, I know what it's like to be unsure and have questions, but we're going to be biased because now it's like trying to search for keys. It's a good analogy. It's like you're not going to search for your keys, find them, and then carry on searching. So my thing was to try to get to somebody, especially if they're not saved, to try to find truth, because everything comes from that place first. Without truth, a solid truth, what you got, bro? You're just making stuff up and trying to build something yourself, and you can just carry on with that. And I just don't think there's any weight behind it. Do you know what I mean? But so yeah, it's going to be difficult if you haven't got Jesus, in my opinion. But if you have, it would be seek Him. That's it. So it's really black and white for me in that. To be honest with you. Yeah, it's black and white, because you need a bar, you need truth. Otherwise, it's just mess. Yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. God bless.